chaos on Capitol Hill as Senate Republicans are now set to go home until June. That's significant because that now puts them on course to miss a June 1st deadline that was set by President Trump to pass a reconciliation funding package to give money to both ICE and CBP.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So what we have here is RINO John Thune failing the American people and openly defying President Trump, because the president made it clear that the Senate, they need to pass this reconciliation bill to fund ICE and Border Patrol by June 1st. And Senator John Thune, he left town without passing that bill. We're seeing the same thing that we saw with the Save America Act and when it was time to open up the government when the Democrats, they shut down the government. We're seeing the same thing from Senator John Thune. What we are also seeing is Senator John Thune is openly supporting senators that are trying to go rogue and trying to rebel against President Trump, and a lot more that we're going to cover throughout today's video. Let us get into it by starting with this video explaining exactly what's going on with this funding bill. Play clip.
Tonight, congressional Republicans are heading home until June. This comes after concerns about the special $1.8 billion compensation fund, or weaponization fund, sidetracked a bill to fund ICE and Border Patrol.
It's the biggest congressional rebuke of President Trump's second term. Republicans were on the verge of finally ending the ICE and Border Patrol funding impasse. But the president's $1.8 billion compensation fund killed the bill. Thune said the compensation fund, quote, makes everything way harder than it should be. Deadlocked, GOP congressional leaders sent lawmakers home until June.
So this afternoon, Republicans, so divided, so dysfunctional, so disorganized, are fleeing Washington. Their majority can't melt down fast enough.
Some presidential allies defended the compensation fund.
Feel comfortable that been wronged by their government should have some sort of redress.
And even though the president recently steamrolled opponents politically, Republicans blocked him legislatively.
If you don't know what's going on with this reconciliation bill to fund ICE and Border Patrol, just remember that the Democrats, they shut down the government for 76 days. And then there was a bipartisan effort to reopen the government without funding for ICE and Border Patrol. So that is what the administration is demanding, an extra $70 billion to fund ICE and Border Patrol all the way through 2029. And the president set that deadline by June 1st for that bill to be passed. And because the Senate is slow and not working for the people, the president asked the Senate to attach 2 additional funding to this bill. The first is a $1 billion security fund for the ballroom and White House. And the second is a weaponization fund for everyone that was prosecuted under President Joe Biden politically. And because the president asked for those 2 things, the Senate, led by Senator John Thune, is having a complete meltdown. And what you're going to see as a result of this is a clash between President Trump and the establishment. And here we have a video of Fox News calling out these establishment Republicans. Play clip.
It seems like they're saying there are self-inflicted wounds here.
Absolutely, Brett. This is really a grumpy group of Republican senators right now, to put it mildly. But there are a lot of cross currents. I mean, yes, the president's numbers have fallen quite a bit. Gas prices are high, so they're reckoning with that, the economic concerns of their voters. But personally, there are also senators in the caucus who the president has come out against, and so that's leaving a residual grumpiness.
Cassidy loses his primary.
Exactly. Cornyn was not endorsed by the president after there was telegraphing that he would be endorsed. So there are internal dynamics that are just making this group of people particularly unwilling to take on an unpopular vote, and they have in the past.
That was Fox News calling out these grumpy senators who's been in the Senate for decades and not really doing anything and producing for the people. And she mentioned Bill Cassidy. If you don't know who this guy is, basically he's someone that voted to convict President Trump during the 2021 sham impeachment trial. But the reason why I want to talk about him is because Bill Cassidy, Rand Paul, Lisa Murkowski, and Susan Collins, they all voted alongside Democrats to essentially advance an anti-Trump war powers resolution, all because President Trump primaried Bill Cassidy and he lost his seat. And here we have a video on that. Play clip.
Just breaking on Capitol Hill right now, Senate Democrats just overcame a procedural vote on the Iran War Powers resolution. That vote came down to 50 to 47. Several Republican senators voted with Democrats, and they include Senators Cassidy, Collins, Murkowski, and Paul. Again, this was not final passage. A Senate GOP source is telling Fox News tonight that with full attendance, everyone showing up, they do believe they have the votes to make sure that they can block this when it does come up for final passage.
What you're seeing right now is a full-on rebellion from the RINOs in the Senate because President Trump is beating them at every turn because Bill Cassidy, he lost his primary, and Rand Paul is about to be next, and Lisa Murkowski and Susan Collins as well. But Senator John Thune, the leader of the Senate, came out and defended Bill Cassidy. He said Cassidy is a team player, and I think he obviously wants to see our team succeed, which is completely false. This is John Thune, the RINO, defending another RINO in the Senate. And here I have another clip to show you of this guy, Bill Cassidy, where he's essentially trying to go after President Trump in regards to the ballroom that's being constructed. Play clip.
There's no architectural plans. There is no environmentals. There's no engineering. There's no sense of, when we ask, how did it happen to cost exactly $1 billion? In my mind, that is, it could cost a lot less. It could cost a lot more. I just don't get it.
What you're seeing right here is a RINO that's been a sore loser because he lost his primary, and instead of trying to find another job, what he's trying to do is trying to attack the president that's been trying to work for the American people. And he's not the only one, because here we have John Cornyn, who the president did not endorse. The president endorsed Ken Paxton in Texas, but this guy is still running even though he's on the verge of losing. Let us watch this clip.
Good morning, John Cornyn here. It's Thursday, and there are 2 more days, today and tomorrow, of early voting before the ultimate runoff date of May the 26th. I'm on my way to Houston to rally the troops. 75% of registered voters did not vote in the primary, but here's the good news. You can still vote in this runoff. So cast your ballot. I'd appreciate your vote for the U.S. Senate in the Republican primary runoff, May the 26th, or during early voting today and tomorrow.
There are 2 reasons why it is concerning that this guy, John Cornyn, is still in the race. Because for one, it gives Democrats an advantage the longer he stays in the race. The second reason is because President Trump made this Truth Social post where he said, I'll be making my endorsement soon and will be asking the candidate that I don't endorse to immediately drop out of the race. And John Cornyn continues to be in the race even though the president asked him to drop out of the race if he's not endorsed. And the reason why he continues to be in the race is because he's best friends with Senator John Thune, and they're still continuing to support him, even though he's about to lose. And here I have this poll to show you of how much Ken Paxton is winning in Texas. Play clip.
55% of Texas Republicans said they would be more likely to vote for the candidate that he endorsed, versus just 36% who said no impact. Just 9% said that they'd be less likely to vote for the candidate endorsed. The bottom line is this: what Donald Trump wants, he almost always gets in Republican primaries. On Monday, he had a 66% chance of winning, up like a rocket, right? Up like a rocket, 95%. Houston, if you are in fact John Cornyn, you have a big problem.
These are the numbers here showing that Ken Paxton is about to wipe the floor with Senator John Cornyn. And here we have Tom Tillis, a Republican senator, speaking out against this weaponization fund that the president is trying to get through Congress. Play clip.
It will invariably put us in a position where your taxpayer dollars and my taxpayer dollars could potentially compensate someone who assaulted a police officer, admitted their guilt, got convicted, got pardoned, and now we're going to pay them for that? That's absurd. The American people are going to reject this out of hand. When you take money from me to give to a purpose that I vehemently disagree with, that's tyranny, and that's what that account is.
Let me know what you think in the comments below in regards to that weaponization fund that the president is trying to get pushed through Congress. But here, President Trump responded to this video of Tom Tillis, and he said, people don't remember that Tom Tillis, the weak and ineffective senator from the great state of North Carolina, I called him a nitpicker, always fighting against the Republican Party and me, mostly on things that didn't matter. When I told him that I would not, under any circumstances, endorse him for another run, too much work and drama, he immediately quit the race and publicly announced that he was going to retire. I said, wow, great news, and that was easy. And that brings us to the end of today's video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section below. Also, please consider liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.